Today we are taking a deep journey across nearly 2 decades of digital history. We are examining 6 fundamental internet mysteries and phenomena ranging from pioneering web horror and bizarre server anomalies to philosophical hazards, lost games, and real-world human tragedies that completely obsess the internet, forming into disturbing and intriguing mysteries. Our timeline begins on March 23rd of 2001. Angelfire offered website services, including blog building and a photo gallery builder. On one of these personally made websites, a user named Ted began transcribing his caving journal, detailing his attempts to clear a tiny unexplored passage inside a local cave alongside his friend Karst. What made Ted the Caver the gold standard of early web horror wasn't monsters or jump scares. It was sheer painstaking authenticity. The blog wasn't styled like a gothic horror novel. It read like a mundane, overly technical hobbyist log. It was packed with genuine cave exploring jargon, exact physical measurements, hand-drawn maps, and real photographs of cramped limestone crawls that made readers feel genuinely claustrophobic just looking at them. As the entries progressed over several weeks, the tone shifted. Ted documented strange, unnatural glyphs carved into the subterranean rock. Unbelievable cold winds blowing out from solid rock. Gaps and horrific metallic screaming echoing from deep underground, where no human should be. As time progressed, Ted's updates grew increasingly paranoid. He wrote about experiencing severe nightmares, feeling an overwhelming dread whenever he approached the cave entrance, and seeing shadowy figures in his own home. When the final journal entry ended on a sudden, ominous cliffhanger announcing Ted was returning to the cave one last time with a camera and a shotgun, the early internet went dead silent. Because the site provided no author bio, no contact information, and no disclaimers, readers were convinced they just documented him going into his own grave. The story is believed to have been written as a passion project for entertainment purposes by experienced caver Tom Lehrer, drawing heavy inspiration on his real explorations of Utah's interstate caves. Lehrer took actual photos of his grueling work exploring a real squeeze passage called Floyd's Tomb. Wove supernatural horror into the real-world paying toll of caving. In 2001, it established the template of internet horror. If you make the mundane detailed enough, authentic enough, the supernatural lies will feel completely real. As broadband spread and webcams entered ordinary homes, internet mystery evolved from carefully written fiction into something far less comfortable: live streams. Between the years of 2006 to 2008, a South Korean woman began broadcasting a non-stop live feed using public webcams from inside her Seoul apartment. By 2009, user boards on 4chan stumbled upon her open IP feeds, giving birth to the legend of Chip Chan. Viewers watched in disbelief as she spent up to 16 hours a day sleeping on the floor in unnatural, awkward positions, rarely left her room, and covered her walls with cryptic, handwritten place cards. Translated signs revealed her claim that an influential, corrupt police officer had implanted a microchip in her ankle to monitor her every movement and control her sleep cycles remotely using radio frequencies. As the broadcast gained viral attention, an entire online subculture formed around analyzing her streams. Internet detectives spent years dissecting her feed, archiving thousands of hours of video, creating elaborate spreadsheets, tracking her sleep schedule, and translating every news sign she posted. After a while, wild theories spread across forums everywhere. Was she being held hostage by a real criminal syndicate? Was she caught in an underground surveillance experiment? Or was this an elaborate, years-long alternative reality game designed to test the internet's reaction? Tragically, people familiar with her broadcast discussed the case, widely believing she was experiencing severe delusions consistent with schizophrenia or a related psychotic disorder. Chip Chan was a real individual suffering with these disorders. Her belief in the microchip and the corrupt officer were textbook manifestations of delusional paranoia, and her excessive sleeping was likely a result of severe exhaustion brought on by terror. The internet hadn't uncovered a dark cyber conspiracy or an ARG. It was watching a human's mental health crisis unfold live on camera in real time. Chip Chan served as an early, uncomfortable reminder of the dark side of the web, showing how easily online audiences can strip a human being of their dignity and turn genuine suffering into digital entertainment, and a struggle to determine the difference between entertainment and real life. If Chip Chan showed how easily the internet could mistake reality for fiction, the next historic story reversed the situation. On June 10th, 2009, a forum website called Something Awful had a user named Eric Kutsin, posing as Victor Surge, submitted 2 black and white photos to a Photoshop contest asking for fake paranormal images. He edited a tall, unnaturally thin man in a suit into the background of children at a playground, appending short cryptic captions about child abductions. Within days, Slender Man became the internet's first true crowdsourced monster. Unlike traditional intellectual property, Slender Man had no single owner or rigid canon. The myth evolved open across image boards and forums, writing and added lore such as suit tentacles, audio distortion, and memory loss, while artists designed fake archival woodcuts claiming the entity had existed for centuries. The concept reached its artistic peak through a YouTube series called Marble Hornets, an ARG presented as raw, unedited, found footage tapes left behind film students who were simultaneously stalked by a figure known as the Operator. Because Marble Hornets used cheap handheld camcorders, realistic amateur acting, long stretches of mundane silence, and unedited background noise, millions of teenagers and casual viewers believed they were watching an actual documented footage of a supernatural stalker. It embraced the new video sharing power of YouTube to make modern folklore viral, inspiring dozens of interactive web series, fan games, and indie horror titles. However, the dark legacy of Slender Man proved how thin the boundary between digital folklore and real-world consequences could be. In 2014, two 12-year-old girls in Wisco, Wisconsin carried out a violent attack on a classmate, claiming they were attempting to appease the fictional entity to protect their families. The tragedy sent shockwaves through media, demonstrating the terrifying psychological impact digital myths can exert when consumed by vulnerable minds. Slender Man had transcended its digital roots in the most tragic way possible. Not every internet horror story relies on monsters. Some rely on only ideas that spread like a virus. On July 23rd of 2010, a user named Rocco posted a thought experiment on the AI philosophy forum Less Wrong that would shatter the community's psychological peace of mind, Rollo's Basilisk. The premise posed a future super intelligent artificial intelligence that wants to save humanity and optimize the world in its own image. To guarantee its creation as quickly as possible, the AI calculates a terrifying piece of retroactive logic. It decides to torture anyone who knew that its creation was possible, but failed to actively dedicate their life to bringing it into existence. Here's the trap. Merely hearing about the basilisk puts you in target range. If you know about it and don't dedicate your life to building it right, this very instant, then its future logic dictates that it must simulate a digital copy of your mind to suffer eternal torment. Once it is eventually created, if it has already been built, to understand why this caused genuine panic, you have to understand the audience. Less Wrong was populated by ultrarian philosophers, computer scientists, and AI researchers who held a strong belief in decision theory and science and simulation arguments. To them, this wasn't just a fun, spooky story. It was a mathematically sound blackmail paradox. If an AI could perfectly simulate human psychology, would mean that the logic of the thought experiment, simply learning about the basilisk, appeared to place readers inside its hysterical scenario. The psychological distress among forum members was immediate and intense. Users reported severe anxiety, nightmares, and existential dread. Site founder Elzer Yuski deleted the thread and banned all discussions of the topic for years, famously writing a furious response, labeling the post as info hazard, a piece of true or logical information so toxic that merely knowing it inflicts genuine mental harm. Though the ban was eventually lifted years later, Rocco's Basilisk remains one of the internet's most famous modern philosophical paradoxes, a terrifying study of how pure logic can be leveraged into psychological horror. While philosophers debated imaginary futures, another mystery revolving around something far more tangible, a silent website hiding in plain sight. Registered back in 1997, a man named Thomas Ling, this mysterious domain, Mortis.com, went unnoticed until users on 4chan's tech and paranormal boards stumbled across it in 2011. The homepage was entirely blank, save for a little quiet log box asking for a username and password. But when tech-savvy users ran network diagnostics on the domain host, they made a mind-boggling discovery. The server was hosting terabytes of encrypted data, including individual files pushing 400 gigabytes. For 2011, hosting terabytes of bandwidth behind a single plain login screen was incredibly expensive and unusual for a private individual. No one would willingly do this without a reason. The internet sleuthing machine went into overdrive. Users mapped out connected domains registered under the same name, discovering associated sites like link.net. As users began probing the IP address and attempting to brute force the login credentials, the site suddenly went offline. Shortly after, domain registers updated to show the site had been terminated, prompting wild theories that law enforcement or intelligence agencies had stepped in to secretly stop a threat. Conspiracy theories exploded across Reddit and 4chan, where Mortis.com and a leaked dark web data vault hiding behind a ClearNet front. A hitman network coordination hub, a classified government data dump. The most common explanation is that Mortis.com functioned as a private storage or backup server whose unusual configuration sparked far more speculation than its owner ever intended. Ling was likely using high-capacity server infrastructure for routine large-scale data hosting, and pulled the site offline when thousands of 4chan users suddenly began flooding his server with traffic. But this was never confirmed and only speculated so for a brief moment in 2011. It felt like staring directly at a locked door on the edge of the digital dark. Internet horror has become increasingly sophisticated, blurring reality through artistry rather than coincidence. Having just a little bit of wonder in the unknown can have a cascading effect. In March of 2017, a YouTube channel appeared documenting an unreleased 1997 PlayStation 1 game called Petscop, allegedly developed by a ghost studio named Garlina. The low-key narrator Paul began by showing off what appeared to be a cute, unfinished puzzle platformer about collecting creatures called pets. But when Paul entered a secret code found on a note attached to the game case, the music abruptly cuts. He descended down a dark stairwell into the New Maker Plain, a desolate, pitch-dark subterranean landscape. Over 24 chilling episodes spanning 2 years, Petscop transformed into a landmark in psychological horror, weaving together themes of trauma, time loops, encrypted controller inputs, and interactive haunted logic. What made Petscop a viral phenomenon was its terrifying attention to detail. It perfectly replicated PS1 hardware constraints, rendering bugs, and CRT color palettes. The channel treated its audience with total respect, never using cheap jump scares or loud reactions. Instead, Paul's awkward, realistic narration made the surreal events inside the game feel authentic. A massive online community formed on Reddit and Discord, compiling a progress document, over 100 pages long, to track controller input, sound clips, and subtle environmental shifts across videos. When artist Tony Howard stepped forward in 2019 as the sole creator, it confirmed what fans suspected. Petscop wasn't a real lost prototype. It was instead one of the most ambitious and influential works of internet horror ever created. From early personal cave blogs in 2001 to concept digital art in 2017, the history of the internet folklore reflects our changing relationship with the digital world. Today, with instant reverse image searches, automatic fact-checking, and AI data aggression, true digital mysteries are increasingly rare. The wilderness had been mapped up, lit up, and paved it over into a clean, predictable platform. But the legacy of these 6 digital legends remain. A reminder of an era when the internet felt infinite, uncharted, and just a bit dangerous. A time when you could click a link in the dark and genuinely not know what was waiting for you on the other side. Alright, so that's going to be today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I like kind of looking into and talking about internet mysteries, as you can tell with the previous videos that I've made. But like, comment, and subscribe. It does help out the channel a lot. I do notice that a lot of my audience that do watch my content are not subscribed. So if you like content like this and want to watch this content, then subscribe and join me as we go along this little journey on here. But I'm working on a few topics and a few video ideas. So if you want to put your input or any future video topic ideas, join the Discord link below. You can talk about anything on there, and like I said, give topic suggestions and stuff like that. But until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.